folks, Chris here, East Coast Water Quality. This question here we get a lot from potential buyers. A couple little factors to check out. You're always free to give us a call, any location. We'll walk you through anything for free, right over the phone. And a lot of stuff we can do with Google and just looking at, whether it's going to need an exterior water line or can it go in the house. We can start real quick with an easy, let's say if you have a crawl space, just go ahead and say that's the beautiful part about the crawl space. We can plumb anywhere we want to go underneath that house. So we'll tap into the main. The main's always going to come up underneath the house. We'll be able to grab it right there, whether the shutoff's inside the house or not. If you're on city water, the easiest way to remember this is you will have a shutoff at the street. We do put a complimentary water shutoff on all systems right before the unit so that you guys don't have to stick your hand in a spider-filled hole in the middle of the summer out there trying to get the lid off. And then some of the shutoffs, you have to get those key. You can get them from Lowe's, the water keys, and they're still sometimes kind of hard to turn to get those to shut off. So we do put your complimentary water shut off if it's in a crawl space. Either way, we'll be able to shut it off at the street, cut into the main underneath the house, and then ideally you want to get that put over into the garage. We can usually get it about anywhere you want in the garage. You kind of use your common sense methods on is there a doorway? We can't go over it. You don't want to run that plumbing up over there if you don't, those get into extreme circumstances. So we'd like to keep it on the wall, but you'd like to keep it sheltered in the garage if possible, or indoors somewhere just to keep it out of the elements. So you don't have to worry about the freezing temperatures. And then you want to have power. No, there's no special power needed for this. You'll just, regular 110 is going to plug in pretty much like an alarm clock. So no special power needs. Do want to keep it sheltered. All right, so now let's say if we're on a crawl space and we do not have a garage. This is where we will need to either come up into a laundry room somewhere indoors. You can put it in a closet. Here's the things to keep in mind about putting it indoors. It regenerates, and depending on which series system that you get, some are going to regenerate more than others. That's a different subject. We can check out one of our videos on the different series systems that we have on salt usage and when they regenerate and how often. However, with the computers and all the technology that we have, we can set them. They're normally set around 2 a.m. because most people are sleeping during that time. It'll regenerate for about 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere in that range. You will hear that. So do you want to have that indoors while you're sleeping? You can also set that time if you know you're going to be gone during the day for work. You can set it for 10 a.m. or 12 o'clock. You just don't, to keep from having any dirty water, or not dirty water, to keep from having any non-clean water come through into your appliance, into the hot water heater or anything. You'd rather not be using it during that regeneration because it's going to automatically go into bypass for that short period of time that it's regenerating. So you can still put them inside closets, things like that. If we don't have an option inside the house, laundry room, garage, and we're on a crawl space, it's still easily installable. We'll be able to pop through the foundation going out the side, wherever you guys choose to have it, depending on the HOA. And you can put it in a little Rubbermaid shed is one thing you can do. It's the cheapest, and that's the verbiage I literally use with people on the phone when I'm talking to them, and what our sales team's gonna say. The cheapest way is the little Rubbermaid sheds. They're typically like $280 or so to pick one of those up at Lowe's if you want to get one. If we pick one up for you, we typically just do a flat rate of $325 to pick it up for you. We don't make any money picking up the sheds. It's just as a courtesy. Not everybody has the room to do it. By the time we get done paying a technician to, go through Lowe's, wait for them to get it, an hour and a half in there, and then putting the shed together alone. Honestly, we're usually probably $400 into a shed, but we just do a flat rate of $325 if you need us to pick up one. But we are not shed salesmen, so I'm just going ahead and giving a disclaimer here. These are the cheapest ways to shelter them. Over time, sun does warp them if it's in a really sun-exposed place. Underneath of the shed, sometimes water can run off the house, can make them unlevel, so it is up to you to keep that shed kind of maintenance if that's how you choose to shelter the system. And then you need an electrical outlet outside. So that is we have usually an electrician we can refer. How much does that cost? It's typically going to be $275 to $350 for one of the ones that we refer because of the volume of business. If you go outside, most electricians are probably going to be $450 to $500. We have no preference. We're not electricians either. We're just plumbers, so we do separate that. But we can coordinate all of this stuff in your transaction, whether you're using financing or whatever. We can help you out with getting that done. All right, so that's the crawl space. Of course, well water is a little bit different, and I'm mainly talking about city water applications. Well water on crawl spaces, you may have a pump house, you may have a shelter. You say, how will it fit? In some circumstances, if you're on a well, we can dig these down in a little bit. I don't like to dig much of them in there, but we can dig them down a little bit to get them under those fake rocks. Those fake rocks that go over them, a lot of times those are even $325 if you try to order them offline, just so you know all the little details here. You can also, you'll have power there usually because of a pump if you're having that type of shelter and your pump is already exposed out there, so you can have an outlet put in there because you are needing to make sure that you keep that heated. On the days where it's going to freeze for over 24 hours, there's other videos on here about freeze protection. I'll tell you to check that out. Some extra little details there, but you want to make sure that you can keep it insulated on those freezing days. All right, so that's the well pump, and of course pump houses. If they're well houses, if they're at least 50 plus inches tall, we have a fit for you right out the gate. You know, one of the taller, bigger systems is going to be 60 inches in that range with the head on it and everything. So those are things to take into consideration. We'll do another video of how, as you guys can look on here, we'll say how much room do they take up. We'll do that in another video. All right, so obviously with the well houses, you have those depending on what we're putting in there, different equipment. If you're getting into, you can discuss to say you are interested in bacteria, making sure you have the peace of mind there's no bacteria. We'll do there's UV light video on how much room those take up, what those need, what those do. But really in the well water application is to keep this video kind of isolated a little bit. We don't want to get into every last scenario on this clip right here. All right, so let's say you're on a slab. This is where it gets a little trickier. On the slabs, if you have a shutoff in a garage, you are pretty much golden. We are going to be able to cut into that loop right there and find a way to drain it outside. On drainage issues, we are going to specifically, we would like you to check out a drainage video in regards to how do we drain these systems, but we'll find a way outside of the garage in that circumstance right there. If your shutoff is in the middle of the house, this is where it starts to get fun. If you cannot go to where the main line comes up, where you know it is, and you can't punch a hole through the wall and end up in a garage or in a place to run the drain to eventually get outside, yes, they can be put into washing machine drains. If you have an exterior sink somewhere, you can get a little creative. We can't touch on everything in this video, but giving you a general idea of, do I need an exterior water line? That's really, we're one of the only companies that will do this. And they're tough, especially in that sun and that heat in the summer. Depending on which state you're in, Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia, the code's gonna be Carolina's gonna be 12 inches, Virginia's gonna be 18 inches. You can literally step 20 feet across the line and you're having to go another 8 inches deep. So what we'll do in this situation is, if the shutoff is in the middle of the house, it does us no good there. We cannot drain the system anywhere if we're blocked in. We have to be able to drain the line. So what we would do in a situation like this is we would first go out to the water main. We would cut into it right as it leaves the main on your side. Install a loop is what it's called. We would run that loop. Either if we can go straight and get into the garage, fantastic. We'll go in there, pop in the garage, you're golden there. Let's just say there's a sidewalk. We can run and go underneath that sidewalk and then come into the flower bed or however and pop into the garage there. What you're looking for is your garage have a fortress of concrete to keep us from getting there. So basically, let's say you have a full driveway coming up to the house. The house is right here, but you have a full driveway, your water main's over here, and the driveway goes all the way to the garage, and there's no way that we obviously can't go into the driveway and get over there. So now we're in a situation where we're probably gonna have to go around the other side of the house and put it into a shed again. And we'll go, depending on how far it is, but we'll give you the best price we can possibly do. We typically, when we do these jobs, we will just get our labor covered and materials. We hope the effort, when you guys see us do one of these jobs, we really are looking for those referrals. And these guys wanted to get us clean water, and they went above and beyond to do that. So they're not fun jobs, but we will do them. We're one of the few companies that you'll find that will do an exterior water line. Is what that's called, an exterior loop. And that's only if we have to do it. We'd like to get into a shelter. I think that summarizes the main part of this for whole home systems on where does this get installed and how can I get installed. If you want to see one about the reverse osmosis unit, check out that video. It'll really go over what options do we have on getting your drinking water to the kitchen sink. From the kitchen sink to the fridge. Can I get it at both? If I have a wet bar, ice makers, all those kind of things, how much water do they make? So hopefully this helps and gives you a better idea. Again, don't hesitate to give us a call and get some quick answers if you have something that we didn't cover here. Thank you.